Hey, you guys, it's Steve Peterson with Infinity Investments, and welcome to our channel. And on this channel, we talk about all things commercial and investment real estate. And we design content for real estate investors and commercial real estate brokers and agents who are looking to sharpen their axe and just gain more perspective about what's going on in the market and best practices that are being deployed. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about getting your commercial investment property prepared for sale. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on preparing your commercial investment property to get sold and to get sold quick and efficiently. All right. Tip number 1 is that you have to gather all of your financial records in an orderly fashion. That's right, in an orderly fashion. And what I mean financial records, first and foremost, your profit and loss statement. All right, because this is how we're going to value the property and come up with our list price. All right, we need to know what the existing, not the pro forma, we're going to figure that one out too, but we really need to know what the existing net operating income is on the building. Now, goes along, and let me just say this about the profit and loss statement. We really need the P&L going back at least 2 years. We like to have them 2 to 3 years, but at the very least 2 years from the time you're selling the property, we need to get that. And it needs to be in an orderly fashion, right? That way we can package it together, put it in our marketing package, our operating memorandum, offering memorandum, so that it's a smooth handoff to the buyer. They see what the real financials are. They can hand that to their lender, and they can, speed the process up of the financial underwriting. Now, what goes along with that profit and loss statement is obviously the rent roll. Okay, we need the rent roll, the current rent roll, by the way, because a lot of times people forget this. If there's been a rental increase or anything, we just need the current rent roll. So that rent roll, that profit and loss statement for the last 2 years are very, very important. Now, ideally, not handwritten profit and loss statement or not handwritten rent rolls. All right, some of the apartment owners are old school. We really want something in a nice, tight fashion. So if you're thinking about selling your property, you really want to first and foremost get all your records together. Now, what else you want to have as part of that package is you want to get all your leases, any addendums, disclosures to those leases, any updates to those leases, particularly involving rental increases, if there is. Also, if you have work orders, whatever you have documentation-wise surrounding the lease, the rental amount, and any work that was done to the property, package that all up, hand that off to your broker. Your broker is then going to have a much smoother way of putting this package together. And then when we bring the property out to market, it's going to be presented in the best way possible. Now, let me just tell you, as a broker, as an investor, it ain't always pretty, man. When you're trying to sell a property and get information from the owners, I've seen anything from just receipts, bank statements, to professional profit and loss statements. And let me just tell you, every single time we got the professional profit and loss, professional rent roll, everything is done. That's indicative of how that person handles the property. And 9 times out of 10, that property is going to sell for more than a property where someone comes in and they barely got the stuff together. Not that it can't, but it just is, when you take the time to put those things together, you are essentially making your property more valuable in the sense that now we can take all of that info and distill it down to the story of what this property's true value is and what the potential is. Okay, so tip number one, please gather all your financial data in an orderly fashion so that you can get it prepared for sale. Okay, point number 2, this is, real estate 101, but for whatever reason in commercial real estate, well, a lot of people feel, it's just a numbers business. We don't need to give the property any curb appeal. Look, end of the day, investors are crunching numbers. Investors are first and foremost looking at what the property's, income, what is the value of the income that the property brings in? Yes, but if they drive by your building and there's a bunch of flaking paint on the building, that's gonna knock down the property's value. If they walk into the property and they see like a hole in the ceiling, obviously that's going to devalue the property in their mind. And so what you want to do is you want to spruce up the property. One of my best clients, what he always does when he sells a building is he paints the exterior. And if you're not going to paint it, at the very least, pressure wash it. Make it look nice. Cut the grass, cut the weeds if there's weeds. You know what I mean? If maybe you think maybe you put some plants in the front, depending on what kind of property it is. Give it some curb appeal. Just because it's commercial real estate, just because the numbers drive the value, people still are visual. They don't want to walk up to the property and see a piece of crap. And if they do, that's going to be reflected on their offer. You know what I mean? So take the time to spruce up the property. Now, I would also say take some time to address any deferred maintenance items. If you've been operating this property for a while, look, you know what the deferred maintenance issues are and what is going to pop up on you in an inspection report. So I'm not saying, now listen to me clearly here, I'm not saying do a complete renovation of the property. But you want to look, hey, we know we got to get these windows fixed over here. We know the heater's over here, it's on its last leg. Or we know Miss Johnson over here in unit whatever, she got a leaky toilet. Address those things if you know it, because guess what the buyer's going to do when they come through there and get their inspection? They're going to bring it up. And then now at that point, when they get their inspector through their number, right, of what it's going to take to fix it is probably going to be a lot higher than your number of what it would have taken you to deal with it. What you don't want to do is get into high-end renovations on your apartment units in rental property, making units like for sale quality. You don't have to spend that much. What I'm simply saying is you want to spruce the property up, and then if there is deferred maintenance items and you're able within your budget to address them. Now, some people might be selling in a position they ain't got no money, there's no budget in the operating account. Do what you got to do. But it doesn't take much money to pressure wash the building and sweep up and clean up and do those types of things. Put your best foot forward. All right. It is a numbers game when we talk in commercial real estate, but that doesn't mean that aesthetics don't matter, because they do. All right. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, I think this is very, very, very important, is to develop your pricing strategy. That's right. Your pricing strategy. Now, here's what I mean by this. Obviously, when you employ a broker to come and list your property, they're going to give you a suggested price they believe the property will sell for. Every broker has a little bit of a different approach, but I think by and large, my approach, and from a lot of brokers that I see who sell a lot of property, what we like to do is look and see, where obviously what the income approach to value is, what the market comps are, and, come up with a suggested price. And what I like to do is look and say, hey, look, if the market price and the sales comps, the sales comps and the income approach show me a $2 million value, well, then I want to list that property slightly under the value, anywhere from like 2 to 3 to 5% under that value. Maybe not 5%, right? But maybe 2% under that value, maybe 3%. 5%, we really want to get a feeding frenzy. But here's the logic on that, is that we want to make it attractive enough to a larger pool of buyers, right? Versus if the comps and the income approach average show us $2 million, putting on the market for $2,050,000, $2.1 million. Look, I got clients that like to do it both ways. And my experience, when we look at what the value is, we price it slightly under it, we get more offers, faster, and more often than not, we end up selling for our list price. All right. Now, the market's changing up a little bit in 2021, right? But the principle remains the same. If you price it in mind where investors in the marketplace see it and say, hey, you know what, this is a good price. More eyeballs are going to look at your property. More people are going to pay attention to your property. You're going to get an offer quicker. You're going to get an offer faster. The approach of, hey, if the property is $2 million, well, let's list it for, if the numbers tell you 2 million, let's list it for 2.1. It's probably going to sit for a while. And you're probably going to end up dropping it to 2 million and maybe a little bit under 2 million. And then you're going to have people saying, well, why is it on the market for so long? Right? Because it's been out there for a while. So when you price slightly under where the numbers tell you, you get a bigger pool of buyers and sellers and people, or buyers that are investors interested in your property. That's going to get you offers. It's going to get you offers faster, and most likely it's going to get you what you want. Okay. So, you do what you do, but that's my guidance on pricing. The bottom line though, is if you are going to price it higher, you got to, whatever your strategy is, go in with the strategy. Just don't go in with, my property is the best property in the block. This is what I want, because the market don't really care what you want. The market cares what the best deal for the market's going to be. And then if it gets competitive, even better. So that's my thoughts on the 3 tips of how you prepare your commercial investment property for sale, and so we can get the property sold quickly and efficiently for you. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, stay tapped in with our channel, because we're going to keep delivering this content, this great content, to you on a weekly basis. I hope you all have a great week, and I wish you the best of success in your investing career. Peace.